Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a genuinely harrowing 3-day island challenge to see exactly how one man battles the elements. We're looking at Episode 4 of creator Hakan Karahan Doda's intense 30-day island survival adventure. What makes this specific 3-day window so fascinating is the raw, unfiltered look it gives us into the physical and psychological demands of extreme bushcraft. We're going to break down his methods, his mindset, and the harsh realities of facing nature completely alone.
So, ask yourself honestly, could you survive 3 days on an island with absolutely no food, no water, and no shelter? We so often watch survival shows from the comfort of our couches, but really imagine those constraints for a second. You have zero supplies right from the drop, you are completely exposed to whatever the climate decides to throw at you. It's a terrifying prospect, and it is exactly the reality Hakan faces as this leg of his adventure begins.
Here's the timeline we're looking at. Day 1 is defined by shelter building and a massive storm. Day 2 hits hard with a hydration crisis, and Day 3 brings total exhaustion right up to a desperate rescue.
Section 1. Racing against the storm. Building a foundation before the rain hits.
Right before the real chaos kicks in, Hakan takes a moment to assess the very sparse supplies he has left. And he drops this powerful reminder: nature is not your trash can. Say no to plastic bottle use. I mean, even in a moment of acute personal vulnerability and immense survival stress, he maintains this deep respect for the environment he's trying to survive in. It tells you a whole lot about his mindset right out of the gate.
Well, that calm reflection, it doesn't last long at all. The storm is about to start, and he's literally asking himself, is danger approaching? The clock is ticking, dark clouds are gathering ominously fast, and interestingly, amidst all this rising tension, he spots what he calls the island's most harmless animal, and he starts wondering if it's actually some sort of warning message from nature. It's this surreal moment of psychological suspense before the grueling physical labor has to begin.
Okay, to survive what's coming, he relies on a very specific, methodical bushcraft process for the foundation of his shelter. Step 1. Dig holes to anchor the structure. Step 2. Place sturdy bamboo poles right into those holes to create a rigid frame. And Step 3. Begin weaving and building the walls. He finds a spot where he feels safe, but there's a massive catch. He really has to question whether his limited rope is actually going to hold all that heavy bamboo together under the stress of high winds.
And you know, nature rarely waits for you to finish your construction projects. The stark reality hits hard. The roof can't protect me right now. When the storm finally breaks, the roof just isn't ready. He's forced to just huddle inside these unfinished walls, totally vulnerable, waiting out freezing, heavy rain. He even notes that he hasn't felt that cold in a very long time. It's a brutal reminder, right? In survival situations, perfection is a luxury you rarely get.
Section 2. Food, fire, and survival. Securing calories and surviving the night.
The storm eventually passes, and the immediate aftermath brings a massive shift in priority. He's freezing, totally depleted of energy, and the mandate changes instantly from shelter to hunting. He needs calories, and he needs them now. And here is a huge early victory. 3. Hakan pushes through his sheer exhaustion, heads out into the water, and manages to catch exactly 3 fish that day. Starting with zero food, securing these first crucial calories is literally the difference between having the strength to continue tomorrow or facing total physical failure.
Now, I want to turn this over to you for a second, just like Hakan does in his adventure. What kind of fish do you think this is? If you have any bushcraft or marine knowledge, drop your guess in the comments. It's a great interactive element that reminds us that survival isn't just about physical endurance. It's like a giant puzzle where you have to have deep biological knowledge of your surroundings and know exactly what you're consuming.
Those calories become incredibly vital as night falls, because guess what? The weather turns violently against him once again. In the pitch black, intense psychological fear really sets in. He says, I hope lightning doesn't strike and turn me to ashes. When you're all alone in a half-finished shelter on a remote island, a thunderstorm isn't just an inconvenience, it's a profound, terrifying threat to your life. The mental fortitude required to just sit through that darkness is staggering.
But as dawn breaks, we hit a highly optimistic milestone. I survived 1 night successfully. Making it through that first grueling, wet, and terrifying night alive is a huge morale booster. It basically proves that his shelter logic worked, and he's got the grit to push forward.
Section 3. The battle for hydration. The physical toll of the island.
Now, what's really fascinating about this next phase is a cruel irony of tropical survival. You might think being surrounded by a massive rainstorm means water is plentiful, but a humid night leads to massive bodily sweating, resulting in a severe morning dehydration crisis. I'm incredibly thirsty. The humidity of the night literally drained the moisture from his body while he slept. His exhaustion is escalating rapidly, and his desperate need for water now eclipses everything else. Without hydration, your cognitive function drops, muscles cramp up, and survival becomes pretty much impossible.
To solve this, he has to make a very dangerous calculation. He locates coconuts, but climbing takes a lot of his energy. He's already depleted, dehydrated, and weak. Expending massive amounts of energy to scale a tall, smooth coconut tree is incredibly risky. One fall could be fatal. But, as he points out, he simply has no choice. The reward of getting hydrated outweighs the severe risk of the climb.
After securing the water and regaining a bit of energy, he finally manages to finish building his shelter. But the compound stress of the storms, the climbing, and the isolation brings him right to an emotional breaking point. I can't hold on any longer. He's just hoping someone sees him from his completed shelter. It's a stark look at the psychological toll of the island. You can do everything perfectly right, build the shelter, find the water, and still feel completely overwhelmed by the profound isolation.
Briefly pausing this mounting tension, Hakan discovers something else foraging on the island. And again, he turns to the audience. What is the name of this fruit? Can you identify it? Knowing your local flora is just as critical as knowing the fauna. Eating the wrong tropical fruit could induce sickness that absolutely guarantees failure out there, so identifying it correctly is paramount.
Despite the emotional lows, he pushes through and successfully uses the friction method to create fire, producing smoke easily. And let me tell you, fire changes everything in survival. It brings warmth, the ability to cook whatever he hunts, and a massive, much-needed psychological boost. With fire secured and another successful hunt under his belt, he successfully survives his second night.
Section 4. Rescue and Reunion. Reaching the limits and finding salvation.
By day 3, despite his successful hunting, his newly finished shelter, and surviving 2 totally treacherous nights, the survivor is at his absolute physical and mental limit. Another storm has threatened the area, and he is just running on pure fumes. And then, the climactic, high-energy moment happens. I can hear the sound of a boat. The pure relief of that moment is palpable. After 3 days of total isolation, hearing the mechanical hum of an engine in the distance means salvation. They finally spot him, and the crushing weight of the survival challenge is instantly lifted. He's saved.
But the story has one final, totally fascinating modern twist. His first thought upon rescue isn't just about himself. It's about his companion dog, Shiva, who is waiting on another nearby island. And this brilliantly illustrates the clash of ancient bushcraft and modern technology. They use an Apple AirTag to track down Shiva's exact location. After relying on friction fires and bamboo for days, the journey ends by relying on a satellite-linked microchip to navigate the waters.
They quickly navigate over to Shiva's island, leading to this incredibly heartwarming and triumphant reunion moment. Seeing the exhausted survivor reconnect with his dog is just the perfect emotional payoff to the grueling physical punishment of the last 72 hours. It really grounds the whole extreme endeavor in a very relatable human place.
Which leaves us with one final thought. After witnessing Hakan battle freezing rain, severe dehydration, and immense psychological strain, I want to ask you, what single survival skill would you prioritize if you were stranded tomorrow? Would it be friction fire, shelter building, foraging? Think about your own readiness. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep exploring.